Brilliant. So thank you very much. So yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome to Breathing Space. As Jan was very rightly saying, we obviously did a whole bunch of these things before, and they were called Spring Break, which felt very appropriate because it was kind of the spring. And it was a break from something, from the kind of corona as it was going on. And as we have moved forwards, we thought that actually all of the feedback we got was around this gave people a great breathing space. So that is how we have started to think about it, in terms of just giving people that pause from the day job to come and speak with us. And it's lovely to see you all, so thank you for coming. And tiny ripples of hope, so that's the kind of theme that's going to run through, the trend that's going to run through these sessions. And I'll introduce you to lovely Lynne in a moment or two, once we've done our breakout and our round of appreciation. But tiny ripples of hope was something that Bev and I heard about on a conference a little while back, and it was just something that struck us as a lovely theme that could absolutely connect all of our brilliant speakers together. So tiny ripples of hope, and who doesn't need a tiny ripple of hope every now and then? So that'll be something that I'm sure you'll see coming through. So that was all I was going to say, Jan, so I'm going to hand back to you.
Thank
and
you.
Welcome as our guest editor. We're thrilled to have you leading us. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Kate. That's great. I'm really excited to be, well, I nearly left the meeting by mistake then. That wouldn't have been good, would it? I'm really excited to be editing and looking after these conferences over the next few weeks. So thank you very much again for joining. And I just run through a little bit around the session today. For those of you who've been on, obviously you're aware, but there is an opportunity each week for a speaker to talk to us about a particular topic that's close to their heart, and some great stories I'm sure coming up. But before we do that, we always have an opportunity to break out into some chat rooms and to think about maybe something that's quite pertinent at the moment. And certainly for our first one, we're all about making sure that people have got some breathing space. So the first question, you may want to scribble it down, but I'll repeat it a couple of times before Bev breaks us into a couple of chat rooms, is: when you have found a few minutes breathing space in the past week, what have you enjoyed about those moments? So when you have found a few minutes breathing space in the past week, what have you enjoyed about those moments? Okay, so Bev's going to work her magic and put us all into chat rooms, and we'll see you in how many minutes, Bev? You're going to give everybody
6 minutes on the clock. And you've got a host in each breakout room, so they will effortlessly guide you through those 6 minutes, and then you'll be brought abruptly back into the main room after 6 minutes. So if you can join the rooms when you see it appear on your screen, that would be marvellous. And everyone's starting to disappear, and that should just leave Lynne and Jan and me. And oh, Ruth's gone dark, but she's still with us at the moment. There, she's gone. Excellent. That sounds bad, doesn't it? No, she's gone. Excellent. I don't mean that.
I'm trying to get this to be lighter, but it's
I know, you're really dark, aren't you?
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's okay. Much better.
No, it comes and goes. Yeah, okay.
It's always adjusting. I find that it's taking in the light and working out how to light you beautifully.
Yeah.
We've done the trick. So when have we found breathing space in the past week? So who wants to go first? We can do it in alphabetical order and start anywhere and just follow the alphabet. So when have you found
I was just sorry, I was just messing about with my tech. I don't know why I keep sorry, Bev.
That's okay.
Right, breathing space. Lynne, do you want to kick off, or?
No, I'll let you.
I think I've had quite a challenging week, and I think breathing space for me is just a little bit of time on my own when I'm running. So I appreciate the opportunity to get out and just sort of not have a lot of noise going on around me, but have an opportunity just to think and process things. And I really appreciate being able to do that and having the time to be able to do it, because I know that's something that not everybody has the opportunity to do. So so yeah, that's just a really thing that for my mental health and for everything that's going on, it just keeps me going. And I think everybody's got something, haven't they, that they just sort of, whether it's, and I like to walk as well, and I like to cycle, but anything where I'm doing some physical sort of activity is good for me in terms of breathing space.
Mine's crochet.
Oh.
So that at the moment I'm working on Christmas presents. I know it sounds a long way off, but it'll be here quickly. So I tend to, if I want to clear my mind of everything else, then I will sit and do some crochet work, maybe have some music on as well. And that's my kind of chill and leave me alone time.
Yeah. And how often do you do that, Lynn?
I try every day to find a space, but sometimes it doesn't work. But nearly every day, I would say. I do try to go out for walks. I don't like them. It's not my favourite thing of doing. But Bill drags me out, my husband, and so we have half an hour, 3/4 of an hour walk as well. But I tend to be talking about this, that and the other then. And that's not really what I call breathing space. That's get out, do it, and get back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's escape, isn't it? It's escape from the doing of stuff. So I try. I don't always achieve it, but I try to do a walk to work every day. So we all work from home at the moment, or many people do. And obviously, there's still a lot of people who are having to go out to the day job, but walking out of the house and coming back to my office, and because I live by the seaside, and being able to take nice pictures of the sea and the tide and the sky and the clouds, that for me is real breathing space. And again, like you, Jan, it's a physical thing. And so it's not that I don't think about stuff, but it takes me away from doing stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really important. And I think we spend far too much time doing. But then I've also noticed that I've been doing quite a lot more coaching, one-to-one coaching over the last few months. And bizarrely, coaching as the coach gives me loads of breathing space.
Yeah.
It's the way that I coach. Oh, the dogs are barking, sorry. The way that I coach, it's no responsibility on my shoulders to do all of the thinking. It's very much about the individual. So yeah, it's actually really energizing. Which is quite bizarre, I suppose, because it's a piece of work. I'm working on that. I'm doing something, but it's still a bit of breathing space.
I always think that when you're coaching someone, you do get so much out of it yourself, because you're facilitating the conversation, but it can be inspiring at times, can't it? In terms of realizing like the potential that other people have got and having those conversations. I think I always go away and I'm reflecting on myself as well in terms of maybe some of the situations that you're hearing and stuff. So I can sort of, I can connect with that in terms of it's lovely. I haven't done that for a bit, but I really do enjoy doing it. So.
But there's an ease to it as well. Everything slows down.
Yeah.
It's what happens when we run or walk or crochet. We've got a hobby. We get sucked into it, don't we? And time just seems to slow right down. And I think it's that slowness that I really find ease in, rather than being hurried and urgent and everything being pressing. So we can do that. Take all the time you need. In fact, I've just come off a coaching call where I said to the person I was working with, take all the time you need in the next 27 minutes. That's how much time we had left in our conversation. But it's nice. It's nice to think about time as being something that we can be at ease with. Yeah. And that's where breathing space comes from. But I think it is something we generate for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's good. Lynn.
Yeah.
You're still flashing light and door.
I don't know how to sort of. Yeah, I don't know whether opening these will help or not.
It could probably make it worse.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You can go on an angle or. So we can see you when you're telling us your story.
Maybe can you go closer to your camera? Let's experiment with going a bit closer.
That's better.
That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better.
I can still see my crib sheet.
Okay, that's good.
It must be the light coming in and out of the blinds that makes it sort of.
Hang on a minute.
Oh.
We've got a scene change going on.
Oh.
You've got a lot of glass. There's a lot of windows.
There is a lot of glass. There really is, yes. It's the garden lounge, so The only trouble with this is I can't reach all my bits, but never mind.
We'll allow you time for that, Lynn. Sorry for those that are just rejoining. We're just having a bit of a jig around to make sure we can see Lynn properly.
It's when you re-enter a room and the first thing you hear is, I can't reach all my bits. It's a bit disturbing, but we knew what you were talking about.
Oh, Lynn, that looks better.
We can see
better.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So we're back, and our themes were very much of a nature, I think. Ooh. Mostly a kind of a natural feeling in terms of our breathing space. I don't know if that's similar to you guys.
Yeah,
ours were around activities, so doing something that maybe takes your mind away from you know, sort of the general sort of day-to-day things. So running, walking, experiencing nature, but also having a hobby, something that can just, you know, just takes your mind. The concentration of that is taking you away from other things and allowing you that space to be able to breathe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so lots of talk of exercise and beaches. Bev and I are lucky enough to live by the sea, so are able to go and experience. And you are as well, Kate.
I am. Yeah, make the most of it, definitely.
Yeah. So, what about the other groups? What themes did you have? Anything that stood out?
I think in ours it was very much around, it doesn't need to be a long time, and how valuable it is just to regroup yourself, and something came out of it, you know, with human beings, and that sense of being able to be. It doesn't take very long to reset yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, Lynn.
Yes.
I only met Lynn for the first time last week, and had a fantastic conversation with her, so can't wait to hear what she's about to say. But I'm going to ask, I think, Kate, you were the lady that introduced us to Lynn, weren't you? So would you like to say a few words just to introduce her?
I was. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to introduce you to Lynn. She's been my friend for lots of years now. We met through the theatre, and she's a lovely, wonderful, warm, generous and creative human being. She made my wedding cake a few years back, which was delicious. She's a multi-talented lady, and a very generous one at that. So I'm absolutely looking forward to her story. I think the thing that amazes me most is I'm going to be surprised, because I don't think we've ever talked about knitted knockers particularly, which is crazy. And now we're going to. So I'm really excited. So Lynn, over to you.
Right, thank you. I'm really quite pleased that Janet didn't actually mention what I used to do. So you need to pay very close attention. Anyone think they can work out what I used to do? I usually start my talks like this, and most people get the idea very quickly that I was a teacher. So pay close attention, because I'm going to set you some homework at the end, and it's all to do with ripples. Right, I am a trustee for Knitted Knockers UK, not door knockers. We don't knit door knockers, although we have had one or two people saying, do you make door knockers? To which I go, no, not quite. What I actually make, or what our charity makes, are knitted or crocheted, but mainly knitted, breast replacements. So that for ladies who've had mastectomies or lumpectomies, and you might sort of say, well, why on earth do you need to do that? And basically the answer is that when the lady who started our charity off was doing it, she was actually making them for the people in America. Now, the ladies in America pay a lot of money for each replacement, and quite often you can have a reconstruction, but in America that costs money. And also quite often they will say you can't have a replacement as and when you have your mastectomy. So she was making them for this group abroad who come up with them in the States, who come up with the pattern and the idea. And eventually they said to her, look, we're getting requests from the UK. So would you like to open up a UK group? because it seems silly you sending them over to us and then us having to send them out to the UK. So she said, well, yes, okay, give me the UK requests and I'll sort them out and I'll find out why, because of course you will all know that. Now, here's one I got earlier and it's not mine. When you have a mastectomy, you come out, that's a softie, which they give you to fill your bra, and it is quite soft so that while your scars are healing over, it doesn't hurt, but it fills your bra. And then eventually you have to go and be fitted, or you're given the choice to go and be fitted, and you are given one of these, which is silicone. You can't pin it in your bra, so it can move, and it does usually, and it's also quite heavy. The idea with these was that they actually weigh the same weight as the breast that's been removed. But the problem with that is, of course, sorry gentlemen, you won't really know, but the weight of the one that's been removed, the other one is still attached with skin, so it doesn't feel as heavy. So a lot of ladies say when they get the silicone ones, they're too heavy, you know, and I feel all lopsided and whatnot. So that's where the idea came from in America. And to sort of go from there, Jo made some for a lady, the first request she had in the UK. And this lady's name was Kate. And she put a little note in with them asking why Kay wanted them. She wrapped them up very carefully and she was very aware. She thought, I don't want them to lose the shape. So she put them in a thoroughly cleaned ice cream carton because she thought that's the only way I can send them without them getting squashed. We have learned since then you don't need to use those. Anyway, she sent them off to Kay, and Kay replied saying, I saw that they were doing these in America, and she said, basically, I've had a double mastectomy. I'm quite a large lady, as you know, and I find the silicone ones are too heavy and I'm hunching over all the time. So I thought I'd try these. Now, ours are made of 100% pure cotton, simply because that is the one thing that we feel is best for ladies who've got scars and whatnot. It also absorbs if you glow a little bit. It's also dead easy to shove in the washing machine. So ours are 100% cotton, and Kay said, I just wanted to try them, filled with toy stuffing, so they're a lot lighter. Kay tried them and she said, these are wonderful, and immediately said, can I have another set? Because I want to, you know, sort of wash and wear, that sort of idea. And she said, but I think, being as I'm a double and I used to be quite a bigger cup, I'd like 2 different cup sizes. So when I'm going out, I can decide whether I'm feeling, you know, laid back or whether I want to be pert. So that's what she did, and she actually then learned how to crochet and to knit herself, so she can now make her own. Anyway, Jo thought, well, right, ladies obviously want them for some reason, so she started this group, and it's Knitted Knockers UK. It has to have the UK or you'll end up somewhere else, because there are loads of Knitted Knockers groups all over the world. There weren't so many when we first joined in, but there are now. Virtually every country has got at least one group. And we all do things slightly differently. Now, how did I get involved? When I retired, I thought, right, I've got a list of things I want to do. And I started off, and one was golf, because I'm a member of the golf club. Went back to this, having had a 10-year break, and it wasn't for me. It just wasn't satisfying anymore. So crossed that off my list. I still was making celebration cakes, as Kate said, but I wanted to do something else, which I hadn't been doing when I was teaching. A friend of mine, Sandra Unsworth, came along and said, right, you're not teaching. Here's the form for the Southport Dramatic Club. So I joined there. And I thought, right, that's something I can do. I can join in with. I'm not going to act. I'm not an actress now. Been there, done that. So I started prompting, and that was actually how I met Kate and Adrian. The other thing I thought was, I've got so much yarn and loads of knitting needles, which have been sitting there and not used. I hate to say this, but I had 3 grandchildren at that stage and I hadn't knitted them anything. So I thought, right, I'm going to go back to knitting again. And I also want to do some charity work. So I started off knitting squares for charity, which was nice and it was quite fun. But it wasn't a real challenge because I can sit and knit a square and you know, dead easy. So I was looking through in February 2014, a knitting blog. And this lady, Jo, was mentioned as having started Knitted Knockers UK. And I thought, that sounds quite interesting. And it sounds like more of a challenge. So it was all run through Facebook, which it still is at the moment. So I got in touch with her and she said, right, yes, what can you do? So I said, well, I can knit with 2 pins. And she said, oh, right, okay, here's the 2-pin pattern. You have to make 2 for us to see. And when you've made them, take photos of the top, the bottom, and the side. So top, bottom, and side, which I did. And she said, yes, okay, a little bit laddery, which happens with 2 pins. So she said, right, you need to kind of stitch the ladders together more. And then she said, yes, that's fine. You can start knitting. Welcome to the knockerettes, which is what we call our knitters. And as I say, when I first joined, there were less than 90 people on our page on Facebook. It was a private page. You had to sort of go through something to, you know, to sort of get there. But once you were on, that was the page. And everything happened on there. So we were allowed to be ladies only, even though I know there are some super, you know, men who can do fantastic knitting. But because of the nature of the work and because things were being discussed that maybe ladies might feel a bit difficult about if gentlemen joined us. So we have been allowed to be an all-ladies group and an all-ladies charity. Anyway, I made, and I think, Jan, I can't remember exactly how many, but I must have made over 200 orders. As we started off, you know, there were a few of us and we were all knitters. But then as we grew, people wanted to join us to support us, but not knit, maybe to fundraise for us, or had actually received them and wanted to join to talk about things. So we now have what is called a community page with over 600 ladies on it. And mainly the chat is about knockers, but there are ladies there who will say, I've found out I'm going to have a mastectomy and I just want to talk to someone. And you'll always find someone willing to sort of say, right, well, let's go into private messaging. And they'll even ring each other up and whatnot. So it's not just the support that we offer to the ladies who need our items. We also support each other. So it's ripples from going outward, but also ripples going inward to our members, and now I just think it's wonderful, the effect that it has had for me and the confidence that it has given me, along with the Southport Dramatic Club. I feel I am actually probably at the best point I've ever been in my life, to be perfectly honest. I'm also one of these who doesn't know how to stand back and not volunteer. So very quickly, I went from being a knockerette to being admin. And then I suddenly became secretary. And then by August 2014, I became a trustee, simply because things grew so quickly that the ladies who were originally there at the beginning in January said, it's too much for me. I just can't cope with this. Whereas I thought, yeah, I love it. I love it. So 3 new trustees joined Jo, who was the original one. And then in January 2019, having been secretary all that time, I then became chair. The purpose we have is to supply all post-mastectomy or lumpectomy ladies within the UK with a single or a set of 100% knitted cotton breast prosthesis. I'll explain about crochet in a minute. They are totally free of charge. We raise the money in various ways, but we feel the ladies have gone through so much already that we just want to help them, give them some confidence, and so it's totally free to them. If they want to make a donation, that is very kind, but we never expect money from them. Obviously, you know, we have to raise money in some ways. And the other thing is, again, ripples, ladies and gentlemen, because we like to spread the word. And the best way of spreading it is by word of mouth. We do spend some money on advertising, but being a very small charity, it tends to be just flyers and business cards. So if I go out and give a talk, I've got a pack of those ready to give out. How we work, as I say, we started off quite small, and we still only have about 150 knitters because people come and go. Some people have been with us, like me, from almost the very start. Some people do a couple of years and then say, I want a new challenge, which is fine. And they usually stay on to support us, but stop knitting, which is fine with us. We have a Facebook public page now. We have our private community page. And then from there, we've got all sorts of boards. Originally, the 4 trustees were doing everything. But as we grew and grew and the number of orders grew, when I took over as chairman, said, hang on a minute, this is getting ridiculous. I was dealing with all the orders. So I said, we actually need a team. So I now have a team of 4 who've replaced me. So they each have a little part in the order system to play. And orders come in through the website, and then someone, used to be me, used to make a note of them. We had a spreadsheet. My son set me up because he's a salesman, so he said, right, I'll set you up a spreadsheet with order numbers, Mum, so you can keep track. And all the details, I had all the details, and then I just put on the order number, the size, and then the ladies are given several choices. So all that information was put up, including the postcode, so that some ladies would say, can I make that one? Because I live around the corner. Or, oh, my mum's there and I'm going to see her next week, so I can make it and drop it off. So things like that would happen. Or others would say, oh, I'll just take, you know, I've got that colour, so I'll make that one. We have trustees, we have an advisory board with the trustees. So we have ladies who have been with us from the start, but don't want to be trustees, but really know certain things. So we've got a membership lady, and she sorts out people coming in and looks after them for the first few weeks. We have orders team, we have an approvals team, because you have to be approved that you can make to a certain standard. Even though we're a charity, we really want our ladies to get the very best that they can get. So we do have some picky ladies who will say, oh no, I'm sorry, that nipple's too pert, or just push your fist into the back of it and see if you can just make it, you know, sort of go in more at the back and up more at the front. not many places you can get this sort of conversation going without people thinking odd people. We also have a suppliers team, and they've named themselves the Yarn Monkeys. And one lady has a very big house, thank goodness, and she has now all the supplies that we send out to the ladies. When I first started, I had to buy my own yarn, my own stuffing, my own bag to put them in, mailing bag, and paid for posting as well. But when we became a registered charity, which happened quite quickly, it happened in March 2015, we were able then to say to them, look, we've got enough money that we can give you your postage back. And then gradually we said, right, we're going to buy in the yarn, and we'll buy in the bags and everything, and then you can request them. And that's when the Yarn Monkeys came into being. And they're fabulous. They send off parcels to our ladies, and we only use 3 companies. So ladies can say, please, can I have this particular wool yarn? I can't knit with the others. And we all find that we can use one of them. We also have a PR team, and that lady and her team look after sample packs, because we don't leave, just make them ordinary for, we don't make just individual ones for ladies. We make sample packs for hospitals and clinics and bra shops. And we're very lucky, we've got quite a number now of local bra shops around the country, little individual ones, who will have a sample pack from us to show to everybody. We also have an online shop. And in the online shop, we have 2 things. We have, and here we go with the ripples of hope, a mini keyring made in exactly the same way as the big knockers, but it's got a heart on which says made with love, and then it's got the hope ribbon, because we have a saying, made with love and filled with hope. It's always very difficult, because people who've had cancer are never 100% sure that it's totally gone. Yes, you can be told it's in remission. Yes, you can be told there's a very good chance that it won't come back, but there's always that niggle. My husband has had cancer, prostate cancer, and he says there's still that niggle at the back. And that's why we send hope that this is going to work for them, showing that we do realise that sometimes it doesn't. Right. A little way along into May 2015, one of our ladies, Kay, said, I want to start swimming again. I haven't been swimming in 3 years since I had my op, because I'm scared that the silicone ones will come out. I know I can't wear the 100% cotton ones, obviously. So I'm going to have a go and invent some. So she went away, knitted some in a soft acrylic, and she said, right, I've made some. And she said, but obviously you can't put toy stuffing in. And, oh, there it is. So we put shower scrunchies in, because quick squeeze and almost dry. So you can actually take it out, give it a quick squeeze, pop it back in your costume, and you can then lie on the sunbed or whatever. Or if you've been horse riding or whatever you do, because it's not just for swimming, exercise, any exercise, that will absorb some of the sweat for you, and then you can go and shower and change and put your ordinary daily wear one in. We've also had ladies, for example, we've had a lady who said, I was swimming on holiday abroad, and she said, the most awful thing happened. I saw it, it came out, and this was her silicone one, and it went to the bottom. And she said, then I had to find the guard and explain to him that I'd lost my boob on the bottom of the swimming pool. So she said, yours won't do that, will it? To which we said, no, probably not. But if you're at all worried, you can actually pin ours in or sew them in so that they won't move. Most ladies don't bother. And we had one lady who said to us, young lady, got 2 young children, hadn't been swimming since the second one was born. The second one was about 2.5, and they were going to Centre Parks. And she said, I don't know, so normally my husband takes them swimming, but she said, I'd like to try, and she did. And when she came back, she sent the most wonderful testimonial for us, and she said, you can share this with whoever. And she said, not only have you given me my life back as it was, you've given our family our life back. And that is what really, it gets to me. And that's why I am just so thrilled about doing it. We make them for brides who have them sewn into the dress and then have the confidence they don't need to worry anymore. And basically, that's us. That's what we do. We started off, the first year we made 800 orders, which we thought was a lot. But now, last year we did over 4,000 orders in 2019, which can be single or doubles, and we actually made 5,835 individual ones within those orders. And basically, that is us. If you need us, you know where to come, www.knittedknockers.uk, all one word, .com, and that's us.
Lynne, thank you so much. That was amazing. I want to give you
I got the homework. Ripple, please, to everyone you know who might be interested. Thank you.
What I was going to say, Lynne, was that we will get your details for the online shop and the charity, and I'll share everything afterwards, so everyone will have an opportunity to spread the word. So I'm going to quickly hand over to Matt to field any questions, but just thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you.
Sorry I ran over.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Over to you, Matt.
Thanks, Jan. I think a huge round of applause, first of all, don't you think?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynne. Wonderful, wonderful. I think the first thing to say is just the amount of comment that come through. You've absolutely enthralled everyone with your storytelling. And there's lots of love, lots of wows, lots of amazing, lots of love it. This is life-changing. This is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Also love your innovation as well. Lots of smiles and thumbs up for the shower cap scrunchies. Very innovative and creative there. So thank you for that. Just a couple of questions came through. So one around funding. So you explained beautifully about how you sort of operate and how you sort of you fund the program. But do you receive any sort of grants or any sort of large charitable sort of donations of that kind?
Well, I would say the bulk of it is ladies who very kindly say, can I make a donation, having received on their knockers. And quite often they will say, because on our website it says it costs us about £10 to send an order out from start to finish. And so a lot of ladies will send us £20 so that they say 10 for me and 10 to pass it forward, which is lovely. We have unfortunately lost some ladies recently who have died, probably from the cancer, but they quite often send, if there's a collection at the funeral, and they will send that. So we have had a few of those bequests. We have had some families who've said, oh, you made my mum's life so much better, so we'll do some fundraising for you. But the main amount comes from the minis. And the other thing, which I didn't show you, we actually have cards. And these were actually designed for us by a lady who can't knit, but she is a wonderful artist, and she has given us the rights to use this. So we have the blank, and they're a ballerina, but her tiara is KKUK. And so we have those on the website as well. So that's really where most of the money comes from.
That's wonderful. And what keeps you going? I mean, you've got an army of people there. You've got a charity. Yeah. You've got an organisation. You know, it's not a one-man band anymore. It's a global organisation. Let's be honest. So,
yeah.
So what keeps you going, and what keeps everybody going, maybe?
I think the thing is, when we get a thank you from somebody, they're always shared with the rest of the group. So you're always seeing the difference that you make to other people. And that is, you know, I mean, to me, I love knitting. I can do that, you know, I sit at night, I crochet or whatever. The crocheted ones aren't so popular now because they're too pert, so it's mainly knitting. But I do that for pleasure, and doing something that I really enjoy, and something that at the end of the day only costs £10 and yet can all change a person's life. It's just amazing. So we feel privileged to be able to do that. We get as much out of that as the ladies, we hope, as the ladies get from us. The main thing is that, you know we are making a difference. Wonderful.
And then just a final question from me. What personal connections have you made through entering this organisation?
Oh gosh, I've got lots of friends now. We do, although we are up and down the country, we do try to get together when we can. So Northwest will have a day where we'll say, right, we're going to meet in so-and-so. I go up to Leeds to John Lewis, because John Lewis have a room that you can book free of charge. And we go there and we have out in their haberdashery a table with stuff on, and people can come and talk to us about it. So sometimes we go to a cafe, take the cafe or half the cafe over for a period. So I've got really good friends who are more than Facebook friends. But it's also knowing, the other saying we have is, and again, this is the ripples inward, if someone's having a really rotten day, you can go onto our Facebook community page and you can say, I can't tell anyone else, or I don't want to tell anyone else, but I can tell you, because I know it won't go any further, but I'm having a lousy day, or I've got to do this, or I've got to do that, and I really don't want to. And we'll say, we're in your pocket. That means everyone is thinking about you. So if you say, I've got an appointment at 10 o'clock, which I'm not looking forward to, everyone at 10 o'clock will be thinking of that lady. So I guess that's another thing that I have found, because I suffer from depression. It cycles. And I find when I am having that, those are the people I go to. And that's what it does for me. So again, it's to do with the ripples of hope within the group as well as outside.
That's wonderful. Thanks ever so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Good meet Jan.
Committed my own. I know. Thank you, Bev. I'm on mute. Thank you so much, Matt and Lynn. Just amazing what you've just shared with us all. I want to really, for everybody to take a moment to give you some appreciation, what they've appreciated about what you've just shared with us, Lynn. So I'm going to just work my way through the order that's on the screen. And Bev, I hope you don't mind if I start with you, and then it'll be Sally Ann, Kate, Anne, Lauren, Wendy, Bridget, Tony, Jane, Ricky, Lynn, Matt, Liz and Nigel. So Bev, would you mind starting?
No, that's fine. We missed Anne out. Anne comes after Kate on my picture.
Anne is... where's she gone?
Anne, she slipped off onto another page.
Waving.
Oh,
She's waving.
Anyway. Oh, she's after Kate. No, you're there, Anne. How could I miss you?
I think you did say it. It just sounded like and. I'm used to that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want anyone to feel left out. Anyway, enough of course. I'll just carry on. So, Lynn, absolutely amazing story. Love it. I knew what you were going to talk about, but I had no idea about how it would make me feel, but also just the things that you said about hope and about, for me, it was about the connection that you create between women, about the appreciation and how that fuels everything, and that listening is just such a massive part of this. It's not just that you're knitting a bit of something, you're creating something that is so much bigger for everybody that takes part in it at a time when people need it the most. So absolutely amazing, but loads of takeaways as well. So I'm very grateful. Thank you. Sal, how about you?
Yeah, so I thought it was great. I've also had a sneaky look at your annual report, which just looks amazing. I see so many annual reports that are really dull, and yours is absolutely brilliant. It's full of pictures and things like that. I love the way that you described it's a two-way thing, that you get from it as well as giving to it. And also what really struck me is the story you told about the lady in the swimming pool. So it costs £10, but it's changed her life. That's just like phenomenal. Thought it was great. You really inspired me. Thank you.
Ace.
Oh, thanks, Lynn. It was absolutely lovely to listen to you, and I wish I'd asked you more earlier, but now I know. But yeah, I mean, echoing both Sally Ann and Bev, just the stories that came out, just in terms of the connections and just that sort of symbiotic benefit, that you feel as much benefit as the people that you're benefiting, which I think when you can get that is just an amazing thing. And I loved that relationship thing, that we're in your pocket, because that's just such a powerful, almost like a byproduct, but it's kind of the thing as well for you guys. So yeah, just so many brilliant stories. So thank you. I really appreciated it. And
I would just echo what other people have said. I found myself a bit emotional, to be honest, which is very unlike me, for those of you that know me. And I think instead of the frustration of how unsupported these women have been, just people getting up and doing something about it, and not being held back by the fact they don't know how to do it, or what could they use. They just find something that they think might work and move forward with it. And I just think that's wonderful. And that's why I put When's the Movie, because I can see it now and I'd go and watch it.
Oh, bless you.
Definitely, I think that's a great idea, Anne. Definitely. Wonderful. Lauren?
Yeah, I would go to that movie too. I mean, I don't know what superlatives to use, because I could use all of them. It was just amazing. And I'm definitely with Anne on the emotional thing. And what really struck me is this power that we all have as humans to change the world. You literally change the world. I think that's fascinating. I think it's amazing. I think it's so inspiring, and I love that you get something out of it as well. But
it just shows what ordinary people can achieve, such extraordinary things. It's just, wow, just seems like a really stupid word to use, but you know, I can't think of any better word to say, because it's just been fantastic. So, you know, if I've got any friends or relatives that need this, I will, you know, first thing I would be doing would be recommending them to you. I did just have one question that you might have covered, and perhaps this isn't the format to do it in. You may have mentioned it and I've missed it. Can ladies wear an ordinary bra?
Yes, a lot of our younger ladies have said to us, and unfortunately there are a lot of younger ladies now who need them, and they've said, thank you, I am now back in my pretty lacy bras, which I never thought I'd wear again.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah. It is something that, because it's lighter, you know, they find it's easier to manage, but you don't have to have a mastectomy bra with them. No, you can. They have pockets in, but you don't have to.
Oh, great, thank you, and thank once again. It's been great.
Welcome.
Thanks, Heidi. Tony.
Yes, thanks, Lynn. It was beautiful listening to you speak about it. The thought that occurred to me was just how much we take for granted and how lucky we are. So the thought of
sticking on a swimming costume and going swimming in Centre Parks with my son, or going out to M&S and buying a really nice bra. These are things that I just wouldn't really think as being a big deal. And I guess why would I? Because I'm not in that situation. But what it did for me is it brought me some comfort that those people that find themselves in those situations find themselves realizing that something that they took for granted before has now been taken away from them, has people like you and has a support network and has somewhere they can go that gives them something back that they didn't even know that they would miss before. And I think that's absolutely incredible. And I think Lauren's point as well was amazing in terms of we've all got the same amount of time and how we choose to spend it. And I think the ripple of those thoughts that you had that took you to some knitting needles that hadn't been used, that took you to a blog that has taken you here is absolutely incredible. So yeah, well done, thank you, and just incredible. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Jane?
On mute. I just want to say what a wonderful, productive, kind and thoughtful lady you are. And when you said about not knitting for your grandchildren, I just want to wash away that guilt, because I used to hate what my grandmother used to knit for me anyway. And I think that you've been more productive doing what you're doing. And I just want to say that, you know, I went through an awful time once, and somebody gave me a cross to put in my pocket. And the spiritual effect that had on me was absolutely just, you know, awesome. And I just think that, you know, what you've done and what you've said there about telling those ladies that we will be in your pocket at a certain time of a day when they're feeling that need was just awe-inspiring. So thank you. You've really made my day, and I'm going to visit the website. And
not very good at the moment. We're hoping to improve the website.
Well, thank you, Lynn. I've really enjoyed listening to you, and I'll certainly tell people. Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Ricky?
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. That was really, really powerful. I think it's really hard, probably as a man, you know, to understand in terms of empathy of how that would feel. And I think when you mentioned the swimming pool story, that really hit it for me. And I didn't think about, yeah, you know, what about people just wanting to be confident around the swimming pool? And yeah, wow, you know, so powerful. I just think that you and your team are just wonderful human beings. It's such a selfless act of kindness, and the confidence that you are now giving women is amazing. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Ricky. Lynn?
Oh. Hello, I just want to echo what everyone else has said, really. I just found it really inspirational. Thank you, Lynn, for sharing that really powerful story and the support you offer to the women out there and to each other as well. I think both elements of that are brilliant. So I can't really come out with any more superlative. I think everyone else has covered them, but yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Matt, did you have anything to add? Because you're next on my screen.
Cool. Yeah. So I thought it was an amazing story. I think you're an amazing storyteller. I think that's what really resonated for me. You know, maybe like Ricky, I can't share the same empathy as the ladies. But the thing that really, really resonated for me was the ripples of hope that you created for a family. And I'm sure thousands of families. Because this sort of stuff doesn't just affect one person, does it? So thank you very much. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. And then Liz is babysitting her twins. So she's put a little note on the chat for you, Lynn, and I'll just read. So she's got a little noisy boy there, but she said it's been so moving. She's got a couple of friends who will be so happy to have one of your knitted knockers. So I think you'll find there'll be another order coming down the line, and the difference a piece of knitting would make to their lives. Thank you so much. I've been knitting ear defenders for key workers and been gobsmacked at the difference a small gesture can make to lives. Thank you.
Lovely.
Oh, I'm getting all emotional now. And then last but not least, Nigel.
Yeah, hi. It was a wonderful talk by Lynn. Very inspirational. I had no idea about the technical problems that women face in these circumstances, but also to note that Lynn seemed to be having such a wonderful time as well with it. I just want to ask one question of Lynn. Is she glad that she packed up the golf?
Yes.
No.
My husband isn't, but I am.
Okay. Well, once again, wow. You're absolutely amazing. And thank you again.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, Lynn. There's just some amazing comments there, Lynn. I hope that's made you realise how inspirational you are. Your generosity of spirit, your thoughtfulness, your dedication to the cause, I just think has been noted by everybody and given us something to think about and take on to the rest of our day and whatever else we're going to be doing moving forward. So thanks again. Just a couple of things for me. I'm conscious we're a couple of minutes over. We've got the green room open until 1:30, so people just want to stay and chat and ask Lynn anything else, then please feel free to do so. But I just, first of all, while Ricky was on the call, Ricky, I wonder if you wanted to just use the opportunity to share a bit of news about your podcast, because we're all a community here and we want to make sure that we support each other in that community.
Oh, thank you, Jan. I did see a comment a minute ago that I was thinking, I didn't want to say it, that you and Lynn do absolutely sound like the same person. I noticed that when we was in the breakout room, but I didn't want to say to Lynn. But anyway, yeah, thanks, Jan. Yeah, so hello, everybody.
Sorry.
So I've been procrastinating about this for a long time, and I finally took the plunge to actually do it. And I have a brand new podcast that is out. It's on all platforms except for Google for some reason. There's a slight problem with Google, not sure why, but it's out there. It's called Unlocked, the Ricky Lock podcast, and it's basically a podcast that is designed to help people be more successful, and it's coming from a perspective of me as a professional magician, but also a behavioral trainer, and what I've done over the last, I guess, 15 years of working in retail and management and leadership. And it's just a really informal, light-hearted podcast that hopes to inspire people. So give it a listen. It'd be great. There is a competition as well. So if you want to follow me on Facebook or LinkedIn, you can win a hamper. I don't really know how I'm going to post the hamper, but you can win a hamper and my online magic show for free. So yeah, get in touch and let me know what you think.
Brilliant,
Thanks,
Mickey. Thank you. And I'll share the details with a follow-up email with everything else that comes out with Lynn's details as well. And then I just really wanted to quickly say that we're just what a fantastic start we've had today. And we've got some amazing storytellers coming up over the next few weeks. So I'm hoping that you're going to join us this afternoon. You'll see some more emails coming around with some details of the next few weeks. But Bev, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but would you just like to introduce Matthew for next week?
Yes,
in terms of that's our next one, and I'm unfortunately on holiday next week, so come along for a week and then I go off on holiday. But Kate, Bev and Matt will be looking after you next week.
Yeah, so Matthew Arrowsmith Brown, I met him 2-3 years ago when I did my Time to Think facilitation training, and we've become firm thinkers ever since. So we think together every month, and we're very different and we have very different life experiences. And Matthew does this thing where it's endurance racing in a 2CV around France. At least I think that's what it is. And I get the most amazing stories from him about these 24-hour races, and I thought that he would be an amazing guest for us to have. So Matthew is going to have a slot next week to share some of the stories about endurance racing. He doesn't do it on his own. He has a team of people, team of mates, and the highs and lows and the ripples of hope that bring will be what we hear about next week.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Bev. So we'll tease out the rest of the guests as we go through the series. I don't want to spoil you all with the other people that are coming along. So anyone who wants to or needs to leave us now, then that's it for this week. So thank you so much. I'm glad you got what you got out of it, because I think it was just a brilliant start. And yeah, anyone who wants to stay and chat, then please stay and chat. And just, Lynn, if you're around for the next 10 minutes, aren't you? 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure people have got other questions. Maybe they're just practical questions or things they want to ask you. So yeah, fire away. And bye everyone who's going.
Yes, thanks everyone. Sorry, I need to.
That's okay, no worries.
Bye. Love to see you all.
Lynn, this is the first time we've trialed the chat room. So it's nice to see a few people have stayed around to chat. So it may be, we don't know how it works out, but we always felt it was a bit of a rush as we got to the end. People went off and they still had questions. So yeah, fire away. Anybody's got a question for Lynn or a reflection?
I think the only thing I forgot to say is they are bespoke.
Yes.
In that the ladies fill in a form and they